Good morning, CCSP. Today is Thursday, February 25th, 2021, and it is a period 1 through 5 day. Well, today is National Chocolate Covered Nut Day. Those are so good. I hope you like them. And it's also National Chili Day. I love chili. It would be wonderful in this cold weather, huh? Chili and some cornbread. Ooh, very good. I hope my husband makes some. He probably won't. Anyway, so let's get to the business of today. Remember, today is Dress to Impress Day. So please post your pictures in your best outfit. Looking good. Miss Stratton's going to put hers somewhere. We don't know where, but we'll think of somewhere. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, we've been reading the book, it's not upside down, it's just backwards. We've been reading the book, Bluish. And I think when Miss Ramirez left off Tuesday, Drini and Willie and Thule, everybody's name ends with an E, okay, were walking down the street on their way somewhere. Let's see what's going on, okay? They turned off Amsterdam, going west on the street where Drini's family lived. Drini's building didn't have anything fancy, like a uniformed doorman. It had Mr. Palmer, who stood at the door from the time school was out to 10 p.m. when the grown-ups were home. Sometimes Mr. Palmer opened the door for people if they had groceries or were older. Wouldn't it be nice to have a Mr. Palmer everywhere? The building had double outer doors and a large space before the inner locked doors. Drini had her key, always on a cord around her neck. Willie had an extra one in a plastic envelope taped in the inside bottom of her lunchbox, in case Drini's got lost somehow. It never had. Mr. Palmer watched as Drini unlocked the door. "Why'n't he ever open it for yous?" Thule muttered. "We're supposed to open it with our own keys," Willie said. Drini said nothing. Mr. Palmer held the door open for them once she'd unlocked it. "Student ladies," he said. "Hi, Mr. Palmer," both Drini and Willie said. They felt the warmth from the radiators and were happy to be inside. Thule was looking around at everything in the lobby, the way she always did. When they were in the elevator, she said, "Can't get over it. They put that little Christmas tree and lights and stuff right on that pretty table. And with the pretty presents all under the tree? And nobody takes nothing? Honey, hush." "Those packages are just for decorations," Drini told her. "They're empty boxes." They went up to the third floor. Drini had her key ready. At number 3F, she unlocked the door and let them in. Once inside, she led them to the room she shared with Willie. "So nice," Thule said to them. "You get to have your own room?" Thule always said this when she came to Drini's apartment. Someday to have her very own room by herself and in her own house was another one of Drini's most secret wishes. Have you ever had any secret wishes? "Take off those wet clothes before you sit, Thule. You can leave on your sweater," Drini said. "I'll put them in the dryer so you can wear them home." She took out some pajama bottoms for Thule to wear. "I can put my things in the dryer?" Thule said. "Just entertain Willie." "Yeah," said Willie. "Entertain me with some food." "I can make her something," Thule called. Drini knew Thule would love to get into the things in the kitchen. "What can I have to eat?" Willie whined. "I'm starving, Drain." "Don't call me that." "You wait," Drini hollered back on her way to the dryer. "I'll get to you in a minute." "Me too." Tuli called. Sometimes the two of them made her sick. In a minute, she called. I'm only 10, Dreeny thought. She went to the hall closet where the built-in washer and dryer stacked one above the other. She put Tuli's clothes in the dryer and took off her coat. She did nothing but about the damp tights she had on. They would dry on her. Next, in the kitchen, she found potato chips. Good, she thought. That'll make them happy for a minute. She made chocolate milk and heated it, and made sandwiches, poured the milk into glasses, put napkins under her arm, and carried a bag of chips in her left hand. Called for Tuli. Get the hot chocolate I made for you guys. Tuli ran to the kitchen to get it. Sit on the floor, Dreeny told them, back in her room, and be careful. Don't spill anything. They listened to her and were careful. No smart mouth from Willie either. Chocolate, I love it, Willie said. Dreeny got herself some orange juice. She sat down on the space they'd made for her. Tuli was on one side of her and Willie on the other. She let herself melt down in comfort, eased her shoulders into a comfortable sag. Just the three of them. Silence and calm were streaming through the window into them. And now she could take her very first deep breath. Dreeny saw when Tuli's face relaxed into quiet. She didn't have to cover up anything with the silence. What was it, being lonely? No man at home, no mom at home. Covering up how she feels with noise and chicka-chicka-ing all the time. Dreeny tried to never let herself think unhappy thoughts. She'd held herself in, but it was kind of hard coming home each day to an empty place. All day not knowing what was going on with your mom or dad. And it was hard to go to a new school. Tuli had been the first kid to be nice to Dreeny, to become her friend. Noises of the day, buses, cars, people seeped into the room. Sounds of my city, Dreeny thought. She loved New York. Every kid she knew loved New York. It scared them sometimes, but now in their slow time and enjoying a snack, the city sounds didn't upset them. Tuli watched, doing exactly as Dreeny and Willie did. Take a bite, put the sandwich down, wipe your mouth, take a sip of hot chocolate. How many times had she thought Tuli's home with her? Not for anything special, Dreeny thought, but because Tuli didn't want to go to her own home. Wonder what's going on at Tuli's house that she doesn't want to go home. Dreeny was pretty sure Tuli had staged her slide into the slush. She probably hadn't meant to fall down. Still, she'd done what Dreeny and her mom had called a Tuligram. It was a message telling them that Tuli needed to be someplace with somebody in a normal life for a little while. Am I staying for supper? Tuli asked finally. Willie knew to be quiet. No, Tuli, Dreeny said. Your Grandma Gia will be looking for you. Sometimes they let Tuli stay, but today, Dreeny didn't feel like it. I can call her. She'll want me to stay. She'll want you to come home before dark. And anyway, you know how soon it gets dark now, Dreeny's. Winter. But I promised Willie I'd read to her, Tuli pleaded. She looked at Willie, didn't dare to look at Dreeny. Willie kept her eyes on the potato chips. Tuli, Dreeny began and stopped. She knew it was Willie who read to Tuli. Willie could read a lot better than either Dreeny or Tuli could. Willie never stumbled over words or was stumped by them as Tuli was. Tuli would make up a book and start out, but then, all eager, Willie would take the book out of her hands. You can read for 15, 20 minutes, but then you have to go. Call my grandma. Take it or leave it, Tuli, Dreeny said, and I'm not being mean. I'm really not. Maybe I am, she thought. She sighed and finished her food. Then she carried the plates and glasses into the kitchen. Dreeny stood a moment at the sink, cleaning up. She could hear Willie and Toolie in the bedroom, laughing about something. I'd love to have some girlfriend as a friend. Not like Toolie, but a girl I could talk things over with, do special things with, Dreeny thought. Having Toolie around was like having a slower Willie. Yet, she was Dreeny's closest friend. And why? Wow, do you know anyone like that who'd rather be at your house than at their house, or who'd rather be anywhere than at their house? Journal. Bluish, time passes. She comes and goes. I never knew when she was going to be there in class. When she is, she'll move her chair to a study table or by the teacher. I figure some days she's friendlier than others. Some kids say she's not feeling well. Other kids don't seem to care about her. Jamal tried to snatch her by her hat. Bluish made this bad noise in her throat. I thought she was choking. She vomited. It smelled bad. In class, in front of everybody, Miss Baker took Bluish out and went to get a custodian. The kids went, ooh, ooh. Me and Toolie and Max, the aide, put paper towels over it. Made me feel sick. When Miss Baker was gone, the kids got raucous. When they get rowdy, they listen to me telling them to quit, even though I haven't been in school that long, because I'm the biggest girl. Mommy says it's not my size, but that I have the way of a leader. So I told all of them to shut up and sit down. And most did. Who needs a vomiting kid in class? Dasan said. I said, shut up, Dasan. Girl, you can't tell me what to do, he said. She just did, Jamal said. Everybody laughed. I think Jamal likes me. Ew. But this is not about me. It's about Bluish. She was tired all the time. I sit next to her when we do writing. She can write okay, but mostly she does her Game Boy. Lario, and some other kind of little man, pokey red something. Willie plays a Game Boy sometimes, but Bluish can punch it up really fast. Then she'll drop it all of a sudden. Not even look at me. I can't help watching her. She's so pale, and she scared me. She said, you want to play? I said, I almost stuttered, sure. I was going to take up the Game Boy when she said, you can come over. My mom will get us. I lied. I like to die. I thought she was going to ask me to play with the Game Boy, but she meant playing at her house. What if I catch something from her? I couldn't move, didn't look at her. She made this funny sound. Then, stupid dorkhead, she said under her breath, but I heard her talking about me. I didn't know what to do. I felt bad, afraid of her. I felt stupid. What was wrong with me? It dawns on me, maybe I really am dumb. And she wanted me to come home with her. She could have been my friend. Wow, that's terrible, huh? But hopefully things will get better. We'll have to see what happens in the story. See if she and Bluish really do become friends. See if Dreeny figures out what's going on. CCSP, have a wonderful day of teaching and learning. Remember, take those pictures where you're dressed or impressed and let us see what you look like. Show me what you're working with.